reflecting their own distorted images back at them. Every step felt like a leap into the unknown, each turn leading them deeper into the maze's embrace. Shadows danced at the edges of their vision, playing tricks on their senses. They moved as one, a collective heartbeat pulsing in the darkness. As they ventured deeper, the maze grew more disorienting, its corridors shifting like a living entity. Their reflections followed, mimicking their movements with eerie precision. Each image seemed to hold a secret, a glimpse into a world just beyond their grasp. Time lost its meaning within the maze's confines, minutes stretching into hours as they wandered its endless corridors. Fear gnawed at the edges of their minds, a primal instinct urging them to flee. But still, they pressed on, drawn by a curiosity they could not quell. The air grew thick with anticipation, a tangible sense of foreboding settling over them like a shroud. Whispers echoed through the maze, disembodied voices that seemed to speak directly to their souls. They strained to make sense of the words, but the meaning eluded them. With each passing moment, the maze seemed to tighten its grip, ensnaring them in its web of illusions. And as they pressed forward deeper into the heart of the mirror maze, they could not shake the feeling that they were being watched. Chapter 3: Lost in Reflections. The maze's corridors twisted and turned, a labyrinth of mirrors that seemed to stretch on endlessly. The group moved cautiously, their footsteps muffled by the oppressive silence. Shadows danced along the walls, flickering in the dim light. As they navigated the maze's twists and turns, the group began to lose track of time. Each corridor looked the same, a hall of mirrors reflecting their own confusion back at them. They called out to each other, their voices swallowed by the maze's depths. Mirrors surrounded them on all sides, distorting their reflections into grotesque caricatures. They struggled to distinguish reality from illusion, each step leading them further into the maze's grasp. Panic simmered beneath the surface, threatening to consume them whole. The air grew heavy with anticipation, a suffocating weight pressing down on their chests. They stumbled forward, driven by a desperate need to escape. But the maze seemed to have a will of its own, leading them deeper into its tangled web. With each passing moment, the group felt themselves slipping further away from reality. Their reflections taunted them, mocking their futile attempts to find a way out. And as they pressed on, their fear grew like a cancer, eating away at their sanity. Lost in a maze of mirrors, the group struggled to find a way back to the world they knew. But in the darkness of the mirror maze, reality was a fragile thing, easily shattered by the horrors that lurked within. Chapter 4: Echoes of Fear. Whispers echoed through the labyrinthine corridors of the mirror maze, their origin impossible to discern. The group huddled together, hearts pounding in their chests as the voices grew louder, more insistent. Each step seemed to amplify the eerie cacophony, the echoes bouncing off the mirrored walls like ghosts trapped in limbo. Shadows danced and twisted, their movements mirroring the group's growing unease. Their reflections became distorted, contorted into grotesque parodies of themselves. Faces twisted into grimaces of terror, eyes hollow and empty. The group recoiled, their minds struggling to comprehend the horrors they beheld. A sense of dread hung heavy in the air, a tangible presence that wrapped around them like a suffocating blanket. They pressed forward, driven by a primal instinct to escape, but the maze seemed to stretch on endlessly before them. With each passing moment, the whispers grew louder, more menacing. They spoke of unspeakable horrors, of a darkness that lurked just beyond the mirrors. The group's nerves frayed, their sanity teetering on the brink of collapse. But still, they pressed on, driven by a flicker of hope that somewhere amidst the labyrinth of mirrors, their nerves stretched taut as piano wires. Shadows danced along the edges of their vision, whispering secrets that eluded comprehension. Their reflections took on a life of their own, twisting and contorting into monstrous forms. Faces leered out from the mirrors, eyes gleaming with malice as they reached out with spectral hands. The group recoiled in horror, their minds struggling to make sense of the nightmare unfolding around them. They realized too late that the mirrors were not mere reflections, but gateways to a realm of darkness beyond their understanding. With each encounter, the group's resolve wavered, their sanity slipping like sand through their fingers. They fought to hold on to their humanity, to cling to the fragile thread of reality that bound them together. But in the mirror maze, reality was a fleeting illusion, easily shattered by the horrors that lurked within. And as the group pressed forward, deeper into the heart of darkness, they knew that their greatest challenge still lay ahead. Chapter 7: Descent into Madness. With each passing moment, the mirror maze tightened its grip on the group, ensnaring them in a web of twisted illusions and dark magic. Shadows lurked around every corner, whispering secrets that threatened to unravel their sanity. Paranoia gnawed at their minds, a relentless beast that fed on their fear and uncertainty. They questioned each other's motives, their trust eroded by the darkness that surrounded them. Every step felt like a descent into madness, a journey into the darkest recesses of their souls. They clung to each other for support, their bond the only tether keeping them from slipping into the abyss. But even as they fought to hold on to their humanity, the maze toyed with their minds, distorting their perceptions and blurring the line between reality and illusion. They struggled to distinguish friend from foe, ally from enemy. Time lost its meaning within the maze's confines, hours stretching into days as they wandered its endless corridors. Desperation clawed at their hearts, urging them to find a way out before it was too late. But the maze was relentless, its labyrinthine depths unfathomable to the human mind. And as the group pressed forward, driven by a flicker of hope that dwindled with each passing moment, they knew that their only chance of escape lay in confronting the darkness that lurked within themselves. Chapter 8: Unraveling the Mystery. Amidst the twisted corridors of the mirror maze, the group stumbled upon clues scattered like breadcrumbs, hinting at the dark secrets hidden within its depths. They pieced together fragments of the maze's history, unraveling a tale of ancient curses and vengeful spirits. Each revelation brought them closer to understanding the true nature of the maze, but also deeper into its sinister embrace. They realized that they were pawns in a game orchestrated by forces beyond their comprehension. With each puzzle solved, the group's determination grew, fueled by a desperate need to escape the maze's clutches. They refused to be mere victims of fate, vowing to fight until their last breath. But as they delved deeper, they uncovered darker truths, secrets that shook them to their core. They learned of the maze's origins as a portal to the underworld, a gateway through which unspeakable horrors could be unleashed. The group's resolve wavered, their faith tested by the magnitude of the darkness they faced. Yet still, they pressed on, driven by a glimmer of hope that burned bright amidst the shadows. And as they journeyed deeper into the heart of the maze, they knew that their fate was intertwined with its own. They would either emerge victorious, triumphant over the darkness that threatened to consume them, or be swallowed whole by the abyss. Chapter 9: The Final Confrontation. In the heart of the mirror maze, the group stood on the precipice of their final confrontation. Shadows writhed around them, coalescing into sinister shapes that seemed to mock their every move. They knew that the time had come to face the darkness head-on, to confront the malevolent force that lurked within the maze's depths. With hearts heavy with fear, they braced themselves for the battle ahead. As they ventured deeper, the maze seemed to come alive, its corridors shifting and twisting like a living entity. They fought against the tide, determination burning bright amidst the encroaching darkness. Their reflections became their adversaries, mirroring their movements with uncanny accuracy. They battled against twisted versions of themselves, each clash a desperate struggle for survival. But even as they fought, a sense of futility gnawed at their souls. They knew that they were outnumbered, outmatched by the darkness that surrounded them. Yet still they refused to surrender. With every blow, they chipped away at the maze's defenses, inching closer to victory with each passing moment. They drew upon reserves of strength they never knew they possessed, fueled by a fierce determination to emerge triumphant. And as the final confrontation drew near, the group steeled themselves for the ultimate battle. They knew that their fate hung in the balance, that the outcome would determine not just their own lives, but the fate of all who dared to enter the mirror maze. Chapter 10. Escape or Perish. With every ounce of strength they could muster, the group pushed forward, determined to break free from the clutches of the mirror maze. The air crackled with tension as they faced their final trial, their hearts pounding in anticipation of what lay ahead. The maze seemed to tighten its grip, its corridors closing in around them like a vice. Shadows danced along the walls, taunting them with their fleeting presence. But still, the group pressed on, driven by a desperate need for freedom. With each step, they felt the weight of their journey bearing down upon them. The echoes of their struggles reverberating through the maze's twisted corridors. They knew that the only way out was through, that they must confront their fears head-on if they were to stand any chance of escape. And so they fought, with every fiber of their being, against the darkness that threatened to consume them. They called upon reserves of courage they never knew they possessed, drawing strength from the bonds of friendship that bound them together. As they neared the maze's exit, a sense of relief washed over them, tempered by the knowledge that their ordeal was far from over.